Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the session. So, in the last class, we have ended with CLI and RDS, right? So, in today's session, I'm going to speak the concept about EBS volumes. Which one? So, let's go and understand what exactly is EBS and how it is going to work. Okay. So, let me create an EC2 instance. But before that, I'm going to open the document for you. That is EBS. So, generally, we have the server. In that server, you are going to store a lot of data like code, files, and everything. Where all the files and code is going to store? In the EBS volume. And before that, EBS volume main purpose is to store the operating system. See, while creating the EC2 instance, we are having AMI. In that AMI, what we have? OS, where the OS files are going to store in the EBS volume. So it is called as root volume. That means which run the operating system. See, EBS volumes are two types. I'm talking about EBS volumes, not total volumes. Okay. First one is root volume. Second one is non-root volume. Root volume is the operating system. Like root volume is the volume which will store the operating system. But non-root volume will not store any kind of operating system. And remember, root volume can also be called as boot volume. Which volume? Boot volume. Coming to the block system storage type, let me go and draw a diagram for you. See. So guys, this is going to be very, very important concept in real-time aspect. So listen very carefully. For example, it is my server. It is my server. So these servers in real time, we are going to create in the racks. Where we going to create? Racks. If you go to data center, in data center, while I'm launching an EC2 instance, all the instance is going to create on a racks actually. Okay. These racks will consist lot of servers. Let me create lot of servers here. So you'll be getting the clarity. I'm gonna create 4 here. 3 and 4. How many servers I'm having? These 4 servers are going to create in a rack actually. So if you want me to show it, if I type the image of data centers, go and type data centers. So if I go to images here, in the images section, are you seeing the racks here? Each rack will having lot of servers. If you go and see, are you seeing the rack here? The single rack will have a server. Okay, this is a very big rack. In that big rack, we have some n number of servers. It can be 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if you want me to show data center server racks. If I type like this one, if you go and see, are you seeing the racks here? Let's say this image. I'll take this image. It is a very big rack. In the track, are you seeing the servers here? This is how exactly our servers are going to align. The best example to describe this one is our cupboard. Our cupboard is going to be only one cupboard. In that cupboard, we are having lot of shells or not, sir? That shell is nothing but a server. Okay, that's it. So coming to the storage type, there are 2 storage type. First one is gonna be, wait, first one is gonna be EBS. Second one is gonna be instance load backward EC2. EBS is persistent. That means if you stop the server or if you reboot the server, data will not lost. You know this already we've seen. Okay. So if you terminate the server, then only the server data is going to be lost. So it is network attached virtual drive. That means here my EBS volume is going to attach to my server through a network. How it is going to attach? That means my EBS volume will not store inside the racks. It is going to store outside of the rack and it is going to connect to my servers. Sorry. It is going to my server through the virtual network. Okay. And network attached volumes are going to be slow than physical attached. That means, see, here in my rack, I have 4 servers. How many servers? For this server number 1, I'm going to attach a EBS volume. So EBS volume is going to attach in a physical format or virtual format? In a virtual format. That is not physically attached. If the volume is physically attached, data will be transferred very speedily. But if it is virtual attached, the data will not transfer very speedily, like that. Second type is going to be instance stored backward EC2. What is the best advantage of instance stored backward EC2? You know, it is a virtual hard drive on the host is allocated to EC2 instance. That means inside the rack only. Now I'm going to take some separate color. Inside the rack only, I'm going to have EBS volume, like volume. It's not EBS volume, it's volume. Now this volume I can give to server number 1, server number 2, server number 3, and server number 4. But this time, this volume is going to be physically attached volume. Which one? EBS is virtual attached, instance store is physically attached. Which one will transfer data very speedily? Virtual or physical? Physical. Okay. But we don't use physical hardware in real time. Why? Because it is limited. For each server, I can be only able to distribute 10 GB of volume. How much? But in real time, is 10 GB really sufficient? No. And second drawback is gonna be, it is non-persistent. That means you can only reboot. Even if you stop your server or even if you terminate, data will be lost. Now again, I'll explain synopsis one more time for you. For a server, we have two kind of storage type. First one will be EBS volume. EBS volume is networkly attached. Data is going to transfer very not some slowly, but you can extend up to terabytes of data. If you stop or if you reboot, data will not be lost. If you terminate, data will be lost. Coming to instance stored backward, it is also going to be volume type. But the disadvantage is it can only limit up to 10 GB, but data will transfer very speed. But one of the second disadvantage here, if I stop the server, data will be lost. Now you tell me, which one is better, EBS volume or instance stored backward EC2? EBS volume. That is the reason why we are going to choose EBS volume. Now let's talk about EBS volume. It's a raw unformatted external block storage that you can attach to the EC2 instance. So EBS volume attached to EC2 through a AWS network, already know. Multiple EBS volume can be attached to a single instance. That means for the server number 1. For the server number 1, I'm saying volume 1 or not, sir, here. Even though you can create second volume, and this second volume also you can be able to attach to the server. And the storage is up to terabytes. I can go for 16 terabytes. How much? 16 terabytes. So multiple EBS volume can be attached to single instance. Okay. But at a time, we can attach only one single EBS. But we have the multi EBS upload option also. I'm writing this point. Okay. But we have multi attach EBS option also. That means multiple EBS volumes we can be able to attach to the single instance. Okay. Next, EBS volume and instance must be on same level. AZ. AZ stands for availability zone. That means if I am attaching this EBS volume to my EC2, and EBS must be on same availability zone. So the data in the EBS volume will be replicated to multiple copies. For example, see here I have the volume. In the volume I have data. If I want to take a copy and I can store it on some other location also. That's it. So this is the concept of EBS volume. Now tell me, what is the meaning of root volume? Which have operating system. And if I don't have operating system, I can call it as non-root volume. And root volume can also be called as boot volume. Coming to storage types, block storage, how many storage we have? 2. First one is EBS, second one is, which one is better? Why EBS? Because if you stop, data will not be go and you can extend up to terabytes. But instance storage, if you stop, data will go and we cannot extend up to terabytes. But which one is speed, EBS or instance storage? Correct. Why? Because it is physically attached. Correct. So now coming to the volume types here, basically we are having a lot of volume types. Okay. So if I categorize volumes into types, I have 2 types. First one is SSD, second one is, I think all of you know what is SSD and what is HDD, right? SSD stand for solid state drive. HDD stand for hard disk drive. Again in SSD, I have 2 types. First one general purpose, second one provision. Again in HDD, I have 2 types, throughput, cold, and the last one will be EBS magnetic. Let me explain how to use them and where to use them. Okay. Of course, it might be a lot of like lengthy to understand this one, but I'm going to make it very easy for you through a storytelling. But before that, how many types of EBS volume we are having? Two types. First one is SSD. Second one is HDD. Let me explain now. And I'm going to delete the diagram here. Okay. For example, let's take a small scenario. Okay. Let's take Tapas. Okay. So Tapas went to a family function. He went to a family function. Unfortunately, Tapas met with his uncle. Who Tapas met with here? Uncle. Huh? So now see. So when Tapas went met with his uncle is asking, Tapas, beta, what are you doing? He's telling that uncle, like I was taking course from Hyderabad, like Naresh Shetty. So I'm searching in the job. Now what you tell immediately? Are still you are searching for the job? Huh? See my daughter. She already graduated and she got the package of 10 LPA. He's gonna take some class or not, sir? This is a general thing what is gonna happen in the functions. That is the reason I won't attend for the functions actually. Okay, fine. Not now, initially. Okay. So whenever the Tapas met with his uncle, he's gonna tell lot of things about our daughter and make him feel very low. But at the end of the conversation, he's gonna ask, okay, Tapas, in future you also will get a good job. So keep trying. Okay. After that, Tapas has taken a picture with his uncle. I mean, his uncle asked, okay, better, like it is our family function. Na? Let's come and take a picture. Now, Tapas has the picture with him, correct or not, sir? Do he want to store the picture normally or he want to store the picture separately? Normally. Why? Because he is uncle without any specification, we can store him. Unfortunately, at the end of the conversation, her daughter is passing away through them. So his uncle called her daughter and introduced him. So daughter, like he's Tapas. He's like your brother-in-law, like that. So brother-in-law means what in Hindi? Like English? Right? So he just introduced her daughter to Tapas. Now, again, his uncle is asking, okay, let's click a picture, all of three together. Now, again, Tapas is taking selfie with her daughter now. Now, he has two pictures. Picture number one is with his uncle. Correct or not, sir? And picture number two is with the uncle, daughter. Correct or not? Now, tell me, which picture he want to store separately? Eh? Daughter pic. Correct or not? Uncle picture you want to store normally, sir. But with uncle's daughter, that picture is having some speciality, so you want to store separately. Now, in the real time also, whenever if you want to store the data normally without any specification, I'm going to use general purpose. What I'm going to use? General purpose. General purpose is a kind of storage in the EBS volume. This is just to store the data without any specification. What is the example here? Picture with uncle. So I'm writing pic with uncle. Second one is going to be provision IOPS. Which one? Provision IOPS. Okay. Provision IOPS is nothing but whenever you want to store data very specially, and whenever if you want to see the data, it want to come immediately without waiting. In that case, I can use provision IOPS. Provision IOPS is nothing but pic with uncle's daughter. Correct or not, sir? So first one is general purpose. General purpose is nothing but whenever if you want to store data generally without any specification, you can use. Example is pick with the uncle. Provision IOPS is nothing but here this picture you want to store separately. Whenever if I open the picture, it need to come within seconds. In that case, I need to use provision IOPS. Is a difference between general and provision clear for all of you know? Online, can you please confirm me? Is difference between general and provision clear for all of you? Can you please confirm in the chat box? And one more thing, let me rename myself, or otherwise, like you will send to the admin, main admin. Okay. Olin, can you confirm is the concept of difference between general and provision clear for all of you? Okay, fine. So next here we have HDD now. What I have? HDD. So HDD is nothing but hard disk drive. So now after the family function is done, now everybody is dispersed. Everybody is now unfortunately at the end of the day, somehow uncle's daughter got Tapas number. He got the message. Hey Tapas, it's me, Radhika. Her name is Radhika, for example. It's not merchant, okay. Anantambani will come here. Okay. So now somehow like Tapas number got like went to that god and he texted, hey Tapas, we had a picture together at the morning function. Now please send it to me. Now what Tapas will do? He will send the picture immediately or not, sir? Now he want to send the picture as soon as possible within fraction of seconds, correct or not? So in real time, whenever if I want to send the data within fraction of seconds, I am going to use the storage type called throughput, which I want here. Throughput. Throughput main purpose is to perform the read and write operation very speedily. Here, throughput is nothing but how speed the data is going to be transferred. Throughput indicates here how speed the data is going to be transferred. So here I'm using here throughput. Throughput. So throughput is nothing but example of sending pic to Radhika. Let's take the example of Radhika. Okay, uncle's daughter I'm going to rename as Radhika. Fine. You know Radhika, Tapas? I think like you don't know that Radhika meaning. Okay, fine. So now throughput is nothing but here how speed the data is going to be sent. So that means sending the picture to Radhika. At the same time, unfortunately, her like Radhika's father also pinged to Tapas now. Tapas, we had a picture together at morning now. Please send the picture to me now. Now he want to send that picture very speedily or normally? Normally, whenever he have the time, he can send. He can send within 1 day, within 1 hour, within 1 decade also. It doesn't matter really. Correct or not, sir? So I want to send the data, but not speedily. Whenever I want, I only send it. So in that case, I can use the concept called cold HDD. Which one? Cold HDD is nothing but sending the picture for our uncle. Okay. Chattu? Uncle. This is how exactly you need to configure and understand the concept of EBS volume types. So again, I'm going to explain this one more time. So EBS volume are categorized into 5 types. See, EBS magnetic we are not using now. This is already deprecated. Okay. Nobody in real time is using EBS magnetic. Forgot about that one. So EBS volumes are 2 types. First one is SSD. Second one is HDD. SSD is having 2 types. General purpose, provision. General purpose is to store the data without any specific requirement. Example is nothing but storing the picture of a uncle. But provision is nothing but I want to store the data separately. Why? Because whenever if I want to access the data, it need to come very speedily. In that case, I can use provision IOPS. What is the example here? Pick with Radhika. Okay, I have a picture with uncle, I have a picture with Radhika. Radhika picture want to come very speedily, but uncle picture, I don't want to access it very speedily. So I can use general purpose for uncle and provision for Radhika. In the next way, coming to the HDD here, I have throughput. Throughput is nothing but how speed the data is going to be sent. For example, if Radhika is asking the picture to send, I'm going to use throughput here. Throughput will send the data very speedily or not, sir? Finally, last one is going to be cold HDD. Cold HDD is nothing but you want to send the data not speedily, very slowly, and you want to access once in a year. You don't access them very rare, like frequently. Very rarely you are going to access. In that case, you can use cold HDD. So this is the overall concept of how to remember the types of EBS volumes. So in interview, somebody asks you which volume will give me the speed access. In that case, which one you gonna tell? Throughput is gonna send the data very speedily. But if I want to access data very speedily, I need to use provision. I want to store data without any specific requirement. I can use general purpose like this. But in interview, nobody is gonna ask all of them. Just understand. To access the data very speedily, provision. To transfer the data very speedily, throughput. To store the data normally, general purpose. To store the data and you don't want to access them regularly, once in a year. In that case, you can use cold. Is the classification clear for all of you now? Is the example clear for all of you? Online, is the example clear for all of you guys? Can you please confirm in the chat box? Hmm? Yes, of course. That is the reason I said here provision will give the data very speedily. Have you like listened to the concept? What I said about provision to access the data? That's what I said. Okay. Here, don't confuse about throughput. Throughput is nothing but how speed the data is going to be transferred. Okay. Accessing the data is different. Transferring the data is different. Both are different, not same. Okay. Fine. So online is a concept of EBS classification clear for all of you with example. Sorry, offline. Clear? Huh? Is the example clear for all of you? Okay. Fine. So now let's understand a concept of snapshot. Which one? Snapshot is nothing but again, whatever the conversation we have in the conversation also we are going to delete like a snapshot. For example, Radhika send a picture to sorry, picture not a message to Tapas. So please send the picture. Now Tapas, what he need to do? He need to send the picture. Of course, he send the picture, but after that he is asking, yeah, what's up? What you are doing? Have you done with dinner or not? He's trying to continue the chit chat. Unfortunately, Tapas asked that girl to okay, like tomorrow let's go for movie. Now immediately that girl took a screenshot and sent to her father. What the Radhika done here? She took a screenshot and sent to her father. Here, what is the purpose of taking the screenshot for the backup? Correct or not, sir? For the backup. So now if you go and see, if she took a screenshot, even though if Tapas delete the chat, the data is going to be stored on the screenshot or not, sir? Same concept will be applicable to EBS volume also. If I delete a volume, if I take a snapshot, even though if my volume is deleted, I have the snapshot still with me. Just like if the message is unsent by the Tapas, still she have the snapshot screenshot or not, sir? So she can send to her father. Here also in real time, if I have to store my data on a backup, I'm going to use the concept called snapshot. Which one? Snapshot. Now let's understand what is the meaning of snapshot. Here you have a lot of data. I'm not going to read the data for you. I'm going to explain everything in a practical way with the help of diagram. Let me draw a diagram for you. So the concept is going to be very, very easy for you to understand. For example, it is my EC2 instance. In my EC2 instance, what I'm going to have here in generally? Volume. In this volume only, I'm going to have my data. What I'm going to have? Data. What is the best advantage? You know, unfortunately, if this server will delete it, my EBS volume is also going to be delete. Entire my data is going to be delete or not, sir? So in order to make this secure, I'm going to create something called a snapshot. What I'm going to create? Snapshot. Snapshot is nothing but simply backup of your EBS volume. Snapshot is nothing but backup of our. That means whatever the data you are going to have on the EBS volume, the same data will be coming to the snapshot. Now, after that, even though if my server got deleted, I doesn't care. Why? Because I have data backup. So this snapshot is nothing but backup of your EBS volumes. And here you need to understand the concept of data in transit and data in rest. Data in transit is nothing but transferring the data. Data in rest is nothing but staying data on the EBS volume. Okay, for example, let's say currently here in my EBS volume, I have 10 files. How many files? 10 files. Let's say. So the moment if I'm having 10 files here, what will happen? If I take a snapshot, if I start taking a snapshot, automatically the 10 files will come to the snapshot. But during the snapshot process, if I try to add one new file, now totally how many files is there? 11. This 11th file will not come to snapshot. Why? Because I already started the snapshot process. Now, if you go and create a new file in my EBS volume, it don't come under the snapshot. Again, if you want it, you need to take it separately. That is the meaning of this point here. Okay. The data written on the volume after snapshot process initiated, it will not be included in the snapshot, but it will be including in the future actually. Here, how many EBS volume we can create per account? 5,000. Now, how many snapshot we can take? 10,000. And whatever the snapshots you are going to create, these snapshots are going to maintain by AWS. Who will maintain the snapshots? AWS will create a bucket. In that bucket, they are going to place the snapshots. Okay, it's not our bucket, it's the AWS buckets actually. So this is the complete concept of the snapshot. Remember, snapshot main purpose is to take the backup of your EBS volume. So if I start taking snapshot and if I write more data, is the new data come to the snapshot? No. And where the snapshots are going to store? In the AWS S3 bucket. It is not our buckets. AWS will separately maintain the buckets to create the snapshots. And here next year, snapshots are region specific. That means if you create a snapshot on Mumbai, that will stay on Mumbai only. It won't come for Northern Virginia. So to migrate the EBS volume from one region to another region, we need to create the snapshot. See, whatever the rest of the points I have mentioned here, that point is going to be on this image actually. Are you seeing the image here? If you understand this image, the concept is going to be very, very clear. So whatever the points I have said here, the same points is going to be described on the image. Let me go and practically show you how to migrate the application. In real time, you might heard about the word called server migration. Have you ever heard about this one? Server migration. Let's say I create a application on US East 1. That means Mumbai. But my client asked me, no, I don't want my server on Mumbai. Transfer the same server to Northern Virginia. Okay. That is what exactly we are going to call it as server migration. Which one? So in our class, I'm going to show you how to migrate the server from one region to another region and from one availability zone to another availability zone. Okay. Let's see. First of all, here what I'm going to create. I'm going to create a EC2 instance on which availability zone? US East 1C. Here I'm having the EBS volume. EBS volume is going to have operating system, files, packages. Let me go and create an EC2 instance in the US East 1C. The practical part is going to be very, very amazing. So try to listen here. And I'm going to tell you some of the advanced concepts in the EBS volume, which is not a part of your syllabus. Okay. I'll try to cover as much as possible for you. Okay. So these are two servers. Like I'm going to remove both of them here. Wait. Okay, you can keep them or you can remove them. I want Jenkins now for my next class, so I'm not going to delete Jenkins. Okay, acha, let me delete this one also. Fine. It's okay. I'll recreate second. So let me create a new instance. I'm going to create the instance on which AZ? US East 1C. So it is my server number 1, let's say. I'm taking normal Amazon Linux instance type. Okay, keep here. See, in the network settings, I need to select here US East 1C. In the subnet here, are you seeing US East 1C here? I mean, you can select anything, but I am taking 1C here. What is the EBS volume? Generally, it will come with GP2. GP2 is nothing but general purpose. GPT is nothing but you can go for provision, IOPS, IO1 and IO2 also. If you go and see, cold and throughput is not enabled for the root volume. For the root volume, you need to use general purpose or provision. That means only SSD will be supported for root. But for non-root volume, you can select cold and throughput. So make sure this one is clear. Tapes that you won't use on real time and like nobody is going to ask in interview also. Okay. So let me open my Mobax now. What is the OS I'm using here? Linux, right? Okay. I'll show you where the Linux is going to store on our server and what is the size of the operating system. You know how to measure the size of operating system? How to measure the size of operating system? I think your Linux class is done, right? Linux batch done, right, for all of you? Tell me what is the command to measure the data in a folder. How do you measure data in a folder? Dush. It is dush actually. I'm talking about the command man. Command name is dush actually. du-sh. Okay. Let me go and show you. So if I go here, use sudo -i. Okay, hit enter. See, currently if I use the command df, first of all, I'll tell you df. What is the EBS volume I took actually? 8 GB, right? In the 8 GB, 1.8 GB is already consumed. Why it is consumed? Why? Because it has taken by my operating system. It has taken by my. How do you measure the operating system? CD slash. Okay. Here are your operating system files and folders. Give the command du-sh. If you go and see what is the size of this folder here completely, that means your complete OS is going to take 1.7 gigs actually. Okay, remember the reason why we call EBS as root volume, our operating system is going to run here. Okay, if a volume has operating system, that is root volume. If a volume is not having OS, that is called as non-root volume. Is the difference clear for all of you? Great. So now here what I'll do, I'll be going back here. And the next part is, here I'm going to install some packages. You can install some packages and create some files. So I'm going to create touch file 1.10, let's say. So vim file 1. So here, this is my file 1 on server 1 on US East 1C. So if you go and see, are you seeing all the 10 files now? And I'm installing some packages. So yum install, I'm installing git, like Java 1.8.0 hyphen open JDK, and I'm installing Maven tree also. Let's install some packages. Similarly, if you want to deploy an application, I will refer you to deploy the application also. So go to my GitHub DevOps where I have all setup. Oh, not Argo City. Go for all setups. GitHub, Raham Sheikh, all setups. You know the Netflix application, right? Scripter. Netflix PQ, I mean Netflix.sh, right? Copy this and deploy the application. VM Netflix dot. See, live work I'm going to show you how to lively migrate the application. I'm showing it lively for you, okay? If you go and see, you have the server. In this server, first of all, are you having the application here? Are you seeing the application is running? Inside my server, now I'll be having the, where is the, like, yeah. I have the operating system, I have the files, I have the packages, and I have the application also. Now I want to move this server from 1C to 1D. That means completely I want to migrate my server. So whenever I want to migrate my server, first of all, I need to take the backup. Your complete data of server is going to store on EBS volume. Now, how do you take the backup of EBS volume here? By using snapshot. Let's go and create a snapshot here. So coming to the concept of storage, in the storage, are you seeing the volume here? So click on this volume. If I click on this volume here, select the volume, go for action. Are you seeing create snapshot? In the snapshot description, you can write backup of my Netflix app. It is not mandatory, optional. Okay. So click on create snapshot. Now, if you go to the snapshot section, which is right below the volume section, you can see the live snapshot is creating. Are you getting the snapshot? This is nothing but backup of my Netflix application. So currently, what is the state here? So you need to wait for some time. Okay. Depending upon your application size, it can go up to minutes, seconds. But if you want to make it speed, you can make it speed also. But for that purpose, we need to pay some additional amount. Okay. So again, coming to step by step process here. So in the step number 1, what I have done here, create a server A and add files. Okay. Create a server like A or B and create a snapshot of the server. How do you create the snapshot? First of all, select the EBS volume. In the volume, you need to select the volume, click on action, click on create a snapshot. That's it. Now tell me, I'm taking the snapshot of my server. If I go and add some new files, will the files come to the snapshot? Why? Correct. Already snapshot is initiated. Okay. Uh, at what time? Next. Uh, DevOps. Hmm. You are taking course from me, right? Oh, okay, okay. Then after that, uh, again you go for reading. Uh, come to lab directly. Lab or class? Class. Go into lab and practice, and then again. Hmm. Okay. Movies. Okay. Which movies you generally prefer, Tapas? Pan India. Okay. Sorry, Pan World. Sorry, not Pan India. No, 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 not that one. This one only. You a little bit confused, huh? Okay, fine. Not by me, Tapas. Okay. So coming back to topic here, currently what is the snapshot it got completed. Now what I'll be doing here, as per the diagram, I have the snapshot now. In the snapshot, whatever I have on the EBS volume, completely backup is going to taken by the snapshot. I have operating system, files, packages, and application also backed up here. Now, from this snapshot, again, I want to create the EBS volume. Why we need to create the EBS volume? Remember, snapshot main purpose is to take the backup only, but I cannot attach the snapshot to the server. I can attach the snapshot to the server. Here, what is my primary agenda today? I want to migrate the server from US East 1C to US East 1D. I have the server, I have the data, I took the snapshot. This snapshot cannot attach to the server. Why? Because snapshot primary function is to okay. So snapshot is primary intended to take the backup only, but this snapshot cannot be attached to the server. So what I'm going to do from the snapshot, again, I'm going to create the EBS volume. Why? Because only EBS volume can be attached to the servers, not the snapshots. Okay. So what I'll be doing, click on the snapshot, click on create a volume from the snapshot. This time you can take minimum 8 GB and maximum you can go up to 16,384. I already said 16 terabytes we can go, right? So I want only 8 GB. That is completely enough. Remember, my snapshot is having 8 GB. Okay. From the snapshot, if I go and create a volume, this can be 8 plus only, but not 8 minus. You cannot go beyond 8. Okay. So my next server is going to be on which availability zone? US East 1D. So I need to create the volume on US East 1D. Why? Because server and volume must be on same availability zone. So click on create a volume. So if I go to the volumes now, this is the volume ID. Now currently is the volume going to create or not, sir? Are you seeing the volume status is currently available? Now this volume I want to attach to my US East 1D server. Which server? But before that, first of all, I need to have the US East 1D server. So let me go and create the server on US East 1D. Launch instance. So this is my server number 2. Yeah, tell me, Tapas, you are asking something. That is the next part. First of all, you need to listen this one. Then I'll show you how to do it on the Mumbai. So coming to key pair, go and select a key pair. Just a normal key pair. Okay. After that, I need to go and click on edit. And here I need to go for like subnet. I need to go for US East 1D. Now where I want to create US East 1D. But in the practice, you can take 1A, 1B, 1C. It's up to your choice. It doesn't matter what you're gonna take. It's completely fine. Now click on launch EC2 instance. In the EC2 instance, now if you go and see, like in the filters, I'm gonna go for running servers. Currently, it will run. Okay. But remember, here as per this diagram, I'm gonna attach this volume to my US East 1D server. Now think about one thing, like understand a small logic point. Sir, this server which is on US East 1D is also having a volume, correct or not, sir? That is also a root volume. Why? Because in that volume, we are having the operating system. Now, what I'll do, first of all, whatever the root volume that is maintaining by this server, I'm going to remove the root volume. And whatever the EBS volume that I create from my snapshot, I'm going to attach. You can ask me why. You can ask me why. Sir, why we need to remove the existing volume and attach the volume that you created? Why? Because, listen carefully, in this EBS volume, do you have operating system? Do you have the application? Do you have the files and packages? Yes. But for this server also, whatever the EBS volume that we attach, that is also having the operating system. If I remove the existing operating system, then only this EBS volume operating system will come. And then only my application will come. Otherwise, my application will not come. So remember, while you are migrating the server, the root volume of the second server need to be removed. Or otherwise, this volume will not function properly. So what I'll be doing, I'm going to refresh. Here currently the server number 2 is on running status. Which status? So first of all, you need to stop the server. What you want to do? Stop this server, remove the root volume and attach the our own volume. Okay. If we don't remove the root volume of US to 1D server, what will happen? The application will not execute properly. So definitely you need to remove the root volume. It is the real time like real time work what I do on my organization. Same thing I'm gonna show you here. Okay. So currently, if you go to all states, the server is on which state here? Stopped. Go to the storage. Go to this volume. First of all, what you're gonna do? Remove the volume. How to remove the volume? Select this one. In the action, are you using detached volume? So now this server is volumeless. This server doesn't have any volume. Now, can I attach my volume to this server? Yes, why? Because this volume have operating system, files, packages, and applications. Everything is there. Now, what I'll be doing, I'm going back to the previous tab. It is my volume that is created from the snapshot. Click on this one. Actions, go for attach volume. So drop down the instances. Are you seeing the instance number 2 here? That's it. So device name, you need to go for XVDA. Which one? First one. Automatically it will come. So click on attach volume. Now again, I'll explain the process. First of all, in the UAC is to 1C, I have the operating system, files, packages, and application. I took a snapshot is nothing but backup of your EBS volume. From the snapshot, again, I create a. Why I need to create EBS volume from snapshot? Because snapshot is not able to attach to servers. It is only to maintain the backup. So I create a volume. In this volume, I have operating system, files, packages, and application. And this I'm going to attach to the US East 1D. But before attaching, I removed the existing root volume. Why I remove the existing root volume? Because if we don't remove the existing root volume, this operating system will not come to the server. Is the point clear now? So now attach the volume. And after that, I'm going to start the instance. What I'm going to start? So go for server number 2. Instance state. Start. Now in this server, I have my operating system. I have my files. I have my application. Even though I have my install packages also. I'll show you everything. Just look at it very carefully. I'm going to take a separate tab and I'm going to show you on multi-execution mode. Okay. Okay. So now my server is running. I'll be quickly going and connecting to the mobile from here. Sir, here, this is my second server on US East 1D. It is my first server, which is on US East 1C. Now, if you go and see, both servers will have the same properties. Let me go and show you. I'll use multi-execution mode. Okay. Launch to sudo -i. Guys, see it very carefully in the multi-execution mode. Now go ahead and check. First of all, I created 10 files. How many files? Are you seeing 10 files on both servers here? Yes or no? Where, man? Okay. But let me go and give git-v. Is git installed here? No. Go for Maven. Is Maven installed here? Sir, you copied the same thing, right? But how it is not replicating? Basically, it need to come with the data. But why data is not coming to the new server here? It is my new server, right? It is my new server number 2. For this server, already we attached the volume. That volume need to get the data. But why it is not coming? Because we need to make sure that whatever the snapshot you create, whatever the volume you create, have you attached the same volume or different volume? That you need to check out first. Okay, let me show you. Here for this server, let me go for running tabs. For this server number 2, which volume we attached here? This is the CE volume ending with CE here. Okay. So if I go back here, it is the same volume that I'm taking snapshot. I need to check with this. So it is volume ending with C. Sir, is this volume coming from our snapshot? That we need to check. What we need to check here is the volume coming from snapshot? That we need to check. So how to check is the volume coming from snapshot or not? Seeing snapshot ID. Okay. So it is my snapshot ID. If I go to snapshots, in my snapshot, what is ID here? It is going to end with 60BF. So if I go to volumes, I need to make sure the snapshot ID is 60BF. This one I need to attach, right? But we attach which volume? This volume. Now are you seeing the difference here? So this is the primary mistake what you are going to do. When you are attaching the volume, you need to make sure you need to attach the perfect volume. So I'm going to give the name as snap volume. So what I'll be doing, for this server, again, I'm going to stop the server and again, I'm going to attach the perfect volume. It is my snap volume. Why? Because I clearly shown you. And again, this is the same mistake what you are going to do in the practice also. That is the reason I'm showing it lively how to troubleshoot the issue. Okay. So once it is going to stop, after stopping, again, we are going to remove the existing volume. Then only we are going to attach this new volume. So go here, go for storage. In the storage, you need to click on this volume and this volume you are going to remove now. Actions, click on detach volume. So it is the volume what I'm going to attach now. Why? Because this volume is coming from my exact snapshot. How can you verify? By using the snapshot ID. If you want me to show it, let me take a duplicate tab. In the duplicate tab, I'll be going to snapshot. What is the snapshot ID here we are having now? ID. ID is ending with what here? BF. Is it the same ID here? That means this is the volume that I create from the snapshot. So click on action, click on attach volume to server of US East 1D, which is on tab status here XVDA. Now the moment if I attach and if I go back and start my instances, now this is going to work properly. Let me start. Is it running now? Now straightly I'll be going and connecting to my EC2 instance here. Come out of multi-execution mode. Now is it going to work? Yes or not? Let's see. Sudo -i. Okay. And in the multi-execution mode, I'll be going here. So give the command. First of all, git -v. Is git running on both the servers? Maven -v. Is Maven running? Yes. httpd -v. Is httpd running here? Yes. If I go and give the command ll, how many files you are seeing here now? 10. And if I use the command cat file1, are you seeing same content now? Even though you can see the application from this server also. Even though you can see the application. Let me show you. But before that, let me check the status is running or not. How can I check here? Systemctl status HTTPD. Is it running on both servers now? Now if I go back, previously I have my application on which server? US East 1C, but the application is running on US East 1D also. So it is my 1D server with the name to copy the public IP. Where it gone, man? Copy the public IP address. It is my server number 2. And if I go and paste it here, wait guys, its screen is lagging here. Is my application coming here now? That means have we migrated the application from one availability zone to another availability zone or not, sir? This is how exactly your server is going to migrate. Is the concept of server migration clear for all of you know? Yes. Now what I can do, as per my client request, I migrate the server from one availability zone to another. So now I can go and I can remove the server number 1. Why? Because already I have the application on US East 1. It is running verified. So after verifying, I can remove the server. Previously, my application is running on which availability zone here? 1C, but now 1D. That's it. Is the concept of server migration clear for all of you know? Online, can you please confirm me? Is the concept of server migration clear for all of you or not? Can you please confirm me in chat box, all of you? Okay, clear. In general, we will restart server. Service also need to restart. That is correct. But here I used chk config. If I use chk config, why it is gonna restart? Vikram. And one more thing. After stopping the server, I removed the old volume. But after giving the new volume, have I removed the server? Stopped the server? No. So Vikram, you need to understand after giving the new volume, I haven't stopped my server. I stopped server to remove the old volume. After new volume coming, I'm not stopping the server. Okay, sir, fine. Now you shown that how to migrate the application from one availability zone to another availability zone. But I want to migrate the server from one region to another region. Let's say currently my server is on which region? Northern Virginia. I want to migrate the server to Mumbai. How can you do it? Very easy. Are you having the snapshot here with you? Copy the snapshot. To which region you want to copy? Mumbai. Mumbai means AP South 1. Select the region and click on copy the snapshot. The moment if you copy the snapshot, straightly what you can do, go to the Mumbai region and again in the Mumbai region, what you gonna do now? From the snapshot, what you gonna create? Volume. Let's do how to do it. And again, same process, guys. There is nothing new in here, okay? So here currently the snapshot is on which mode here? Pending. In that meanwhile, I'm going to create a server here. What I'm gonna create? Server. So I'll go to create a server. So launch an instance. It is my server number 1 in Mumbai. So Amazon next to. Okay. So here I'm gonna create some other key pair, which is completely fine now. After that, what you'll be doing, so here coming to the availability zone, you can go for any availability zone. It doesn't matter. I'm going for default availability zone with all the traffic. So click on launch instance. Now what I'll be doing here, I have the server and I have the snapshot. But can I attach snapshot directly to my server? No, first of all, you are going to create a volume. So to create the volume, my snapshot need to be come to ready status. So it will take some time. Why? Because you are transferring the data, right? So it need to wait. Remember, when you are transferring the data from one availability zone to another availability zone, or from one region to another region, you are going to have some cost. Definitely, we need to pay some amount for it. So it will take some time. Wait for it. Even though the server is on different availability zone, if any update in availability zone 1C, no, updates will not come, Akhil. Okay, if you go and modify something on 1C, it won't go for 1D. That is not possible here. Okay, if you want to make it possible, take another snapshot. That is the only way to do. Yep, fine. Currently, it is on which status? Pending. It's taking some time. In the meanwhile, can we go and remove the volume of the existing server? Why? Because anyway, we are going to remove it. So instead of waiting for to make this running, I'll go back to my instance and I'm going to stop the server and I'm going to remove the existing volume. So it is my server number 1, storage. So click on the volume and this volume you are going to detach. Select the volume. Actions, click on detach. But remember, is the server stopped here? No. I'll go for force detach. What I'll go for? If your server is running, even though if it is running, if I want to detach the volume, I can use force detach, but it is telling that your server is unable to detach the root volume. So definitely if I want to detach the volume, first of all, I need to stop it. So I'm stopping it now. It's stopped now. Directly go. Now go and detach the volume, or you can use force detach also. Anything you can use. Detach or force detach. Is it gone now? Yes. Now the server is volumeless. What I'll be doing now? Directly I'll be going and attach the volume. But I have only snapshot here. What I have? So from the snapshot, what we're gonna create here? Is my snapshot completely copied now? Select this one. Action, click on create a volume from snapshot. So now my server is on which availability zone? I don't know. I need to check it. Okay. Go for duplicate tab. After going to duplicate tab, go for instances. Your instance on which availability is on AP South? So volume must be on AP South. One, correct. Click on create the volume. And if you want to give a tag, for example, in the last time we haven't identified the volume, it become very difficult for us. Now, if I give a tag, so volume, sorry, like I'm gonna give name is equal to, I'm gonna give application. So if I give tag like this, now I can be able to identify my volume easily. What is the tag here? Name is equal to app, or you can give Netflix. Netflix app, anything you can use. Create the volume. Now, if you go and see, if I select the volume, I can be able to identify. Why? Because in the tags, am I able to see the tags here now? Oh, wait, it is snapshot. I need to go for volumes. In the volume section, I can see a lot of volumes, but how I can identify easily? Tags. So this doesn't have any tag. And this is also not having tag. Am I having tag here now? That is my exact volume. So tags is used for identification actually. Click on action, click on attach volume. So I need to select here server number 1 and device name XVDA. Click on attach volume. Now directly, if I go to my server number 1 and if I start, automatically my application will come to which region now? Mumbai region. But initially our server is on Northern Virginia. I migrated the application from 1C to 1D. And after that, my client required me, you want to migrate the server to Mumbai also. What I have done, I copied the snapshot to Mumbai. From the snapshot, I create the volume and that volume attached to my server. So now is the concept easy for all of you how to migrate the servers? Simply take a EBS volume and create a snapshots. That's it. Solid is the concept of server migration. Clear for all of you know? Can you please confirm in the chat box? And even though if you want to access the application, copy the public IP address and paste it here. Is my application running on Mumbai server now? I'm using Mumbai IP address. Which IP address? Mumbai IP address. There you go. That's it. So this is the way how exactly you are going to use the snapshots. And one of the best advantage of using snapshot, we can create AMI from the snapshot. What we can create? AMI. If I create AMI, what will happen, In that AMI, automatically my application is already installed. My packages are already installed. My files are already created. Now, whenever if I launch a new server, if I select the AMI, I do not install my application. Why? Because application is already installed. Let me show the AMI concept. Go back to the snapshots here. In the snapshot, or is in the snapshot? From the snapshot, what I'm going to create here, create a image. So in the image section, I'm going to go here. Already that snapshot is having operating system, files, application, packages. Correct or not, sir? Now if I create an image will have everything. So image name, I'm going to give it as Netflix image. So description, you can write my application is installed in this AMI. This is the AMI. Image means AMI. Okay. So leave them as it is. Don't do anything. So click on create a. Now if I go to AMI section, it is my AMI. Are you seeing AMI? In this AMI, it is my Netflix image. Already my Netflix is configured here. Okay. So currently status is available. So click on launch instance from this AMI. If I click this one, now from this AMI, my application is going to launch. So here if you go and say, are you seeing AMI catalog? What is the AMI I'm using here? Netflix AMI. So in this Netflix AMI, already I have the Netflix application installed. So once I create the server, directly I can use the application without installing. Launch and prepare all traffic. Click on launch instance. Now, if I go and see, it is my second server. Now, simply I can go and remove the server number 1. Why? Because I don't want this anymore. I'm removing this completely. So I'm waiting for my server number 2 to run here. So in my server number 2, what I'll get now? Tell me. I get the operating system. I'll get the files. I'll get the application also. Why? Because from the snapshot, I'm creating directly AMI. In real time, this is how you need to configure the application. In the last group configuration, whenever the server will come, automatically application will come with the server. Now you don't go and install the application separately. Okay. So now try to access the application from this server. Copy the public IP address. Are you seeing the application? Sir, just now in front of you, I created the server. But how the application is coming? From the AMI. How I create the AMI? From the snapshot. How I get the snapshot? From the EBS volume. So is the relation of EBS volume, snapshot, AMI clear for all of you? Yes. Online, is the relation clear for all of you? Can you please confirm me? Is the concept clear for all of you or not? Yep. So in real time, when creating the auto scaling groups, auto scaling group will create a server, but how the application will come means we already create a AMI and that AMI we give to auto scaling group configuration. Now when the server will come, automatically application is also going to come with the server itself. That's it. And one of the best part is you create the AMI, right? In real time, you can sell this AMI also for other companies. There is a concept called AMI marketplace. In that AMI marketplace, you can create your own AMI and you can sell that to the AWS community also. You can make a business with it. Okay. But again, so this is going to be very cost effective. So after working with them, you are going to delete. And one of the best part, unfortunately, if you delete the snapshot or AMI, you can be able to retrieve them. What you can do? Are you seeing recycle bin option? Okay. Let me go and configure in real time. Trust me. Daily we are going to take the snapshot for our server. It is our server. Daily I'm going to create the backup of my server by using the snapshot. That even if my server will go, I have the snapshot. Sir, what if you delete the snapshot also? You removed snapshot and AMI both. Now what you have? You don't have anything. So I can configure the recycle bin option. Even though if I delete my snapshot, I have the recovery option. Let me show that one also. It is not a part of your syllabus, but I am showing for your clarity. Okay. So I'm deleting the snap like AMI. First of all, like of course I'll do it later. Go to the snapshots. In the snapshot, directly if you go and delete, it won't recover. First of all, you need to go for recycle bin option. In the recycle bin, click on create retention rule. So it is my Netflix bin. Okay. It is optional Netflix bin. So coming to the resource type, here I'm gonna take the backup of EBS snapshot. Of course, if you want to take snapshot of like backup of AMI, also select AMI, but I'm going for EBS snapshots. Select this one. Retention period. If you delete the snapshot, within how many days you want to store that on your recycle bin? I want to store for example, 100 days. How many days? But 100 days is going to be very, very expensive. You're going to pay. In real time, we put maximum for 10 days. How many days? 10 days. Even 1 day is also fine. Why? Because if I delete now, tomorrow I can recover. But here I'm going to for 10. But for the cost effective, I'm going to make it only 1 day for now. Click on create retention rules. Resource tag to match. Here we need to give the key and a value. Wait. I'm going to give the key and value here for my snapshot. Give me a second. For my snapshot, I'm going to add the tags here. What I'm going to add? I'm going to add the tags here. Okay. Manage tags. Click on add the tag. Okay. So I'm using app is equal to Netflix. I'm going to save it. Okay. Here also now I'm going to give the same tags here in the recycle bin part. But are this on? No. It is on Northern Virginia snapshot. Wait. This won't work now. Why? Because this snapshot is on Northern Virginia. I need to create it for Mumbai region. So in Mumbai, just to go and give the same tags. The tags, manage tags, I need to give app is equal to click on save. So now again, if I go to recycle bin, here I need to give the same tags. App is equal to Netflix. Are you seeing it automatically? So the moment if I go and if I click on create retention rules. A value is required if you like to apply the rules, resource, apply to all the resources. Okay, let me go for apply to all resources. Fine. Click on retention rule. Apply to all resources means it is going to apply for all the EBS snapshots. So now what I'm going to do in the Mumbai region, intentionally, I'm going to delete this one. What I'm going to do? Delete. So it is ready now. If I go back and if I go to delete the snapshot, type delete. So now automatically my snapshot is gone. But remember, this snapshot is already attached for the AMI. First of all, you need to remove the AMI. Why? Because that AMI is in the snapshot, right? Let me delete the AMI. Click on deregister. So the AMI is gone now. Okay. Now go and delete the snapshot. Why? Because this snapshot I'm attaching from AMI. So while AMI is using my snapshot, I cannot remove it. So I remove the AMI. Then parallel, I'm removing the snapshot here. Is the snapshot gone now? So in real time, even though if my snapshot is gone, if I go to my recycle bin, in this recycle bin, I can be able to retrieve that one. What I can do? Retrieve. How I can do? If I select this one, okay. So this is the details actually. In the action, are you seeing the edit, delete and everything? But here what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take the resource back. Go for the resource part here. So currently it is not loading. You need to wait for some time. Immediately it won't replicate. It will take at least some minutes. After minutes, you are going to get the snapshot and finally you can be able to retrieve. Are you seeing the recover option? The moment if your snapshot is available, select the snapshot and click on recover. But it will not take immediately. It will take some time to come to recycle bin. So in this way, how we are going to provide the backup for snapshot? Let me finish. Okay. In this way, we are going to create the recycle bin backup for EBS volumes and AMI. Why? Because unfortunately, if somebody delete that one, your application is completely gone. So in order to make that restriction, we are going to provide the recycle bin option. Minimum recycle bin option will be 1 day and maximum you can go for 365 days also. That's it. So online is the concept of creating the recycle bin option for resources. Clear for all of you know? Can you please confirm in the chat box? Yeah. And one more thing, you need to go for the exact region. I removed the snapshot on which region? Mumbai. I need to select on Mumbai only. But if you go and select on Northern Virginia, it won't visible. Okay. So in Mumbai, currently I don't have any type of instance. Okay. So it is my Mumbai. So let me wait for some time. It will come. So this is about the concept of EBS volumes as well as snapshots. And I haven't shown you how to increase the existing volume EBS size. Let me show that one also. For example, for this server, okay, I'm having my server number 2. For this server, what is the EBS volume size here? 8, sir, I want to make it 20 GB now. Click on this one, select the EBS volume and click on modify. Are you seeing modify volume? Go and make 8 to 20. You can change the volume type, you can change the IOPS, you can change the throughput, everything you can change. Click on modify. Once if you give the 20 GB, you can go for 30, 40, 60, but you cannot come to 18, 19. If I modify the volume, you can increase it, but you cannot decrease. This is the way how exactly you are going to increase the existing volume. No, sir, I want to attach second volume for my server. Is it possible? Of course, it is possible. Let me show that one also. For example, I have my instance here. It is on which availability zone? 1A. So I'll be going to create the volume. I'm going to create the volume. So this volume I'm going to give for 10 GB this time. So this volume is on US East 1A. If I create this volume of 10 GB, now if I click on this, in the action, are you seeing attach volume here? Yes, wait for some time. It need to be available now. Yeah, it is available. Select the volume, click on attach volume and go for server. And this time you can select any name. Why? Because it is not root volume now. So click on attach the volume. By this way, you can do multiple volume attached to the single server. If I go and click on refresh, previously how many volumes we are having for the server? 1. But if you go and see, you will be getting 2 volumes. The section of storage, are you seeing volume 1 and volume 2? So in this way, what you can do is you can attach single volume to the server and you can attach multiple volumes of the server. So this is the concept of complete your EBS volumes. Is the concept of EBS volumes clear for all of you know? That's it. So online, if you are having any doubts or any queries, no, you can ask your doubts and queries. You can raise your hand. And one more thing, after practicing, I will recommend everyone to delete all the snapshots, all the volumes and all the servers. Why? Because it is going to be cost effective. Okay. So you are going to pay money for it. Let me remove all the volumes. So online, if you are having any doubts or any queries, please raise your hand. And offline, if you are having any queries, you can go ahead. Which one? Paid. Everything is paid. You are going to get this on billing section. Payment is not going to ask you directly here. Payment will come to your billing section. Okay. You can go to official documentation and you can search. It depends upon your size of the volume. If your volume size is less, you will get less amount. If it is more, you will get more amount. That's it. Cloud is? Yeah, definitely. Nobody is gonna give free anything for anyone, right? Open source. Then are you going to deploy your application on open source? Tell me. If you deploy an open source, you need to you need to manage everything. But cloud is managing everything for you, right? You are going to pay what you use. Correct or not? That's it. Again, I'm going and checking your resources in Mumbai. It is still not yet coming, but definitely it will come after some time. So you can delete that one later. So this is for end of the EBS volumes and AMI. In tomorrow's session, I'm going to start the new concept called S3 buckets. Which one? That's it. Yeah. You can cross cloud migration. You can do it. But my question is, why you need to do it? Uh, you can merge. There is an option to do it. That is called as cloud migration. That means your application is running on one cloud. You can migrate to some other cloud. It's possible. Everything is paid in cloud. If you want to use the cloud with 0 rupees, there is only one way. Create your own cloud. In that way, you need to pay anything to anyone, right? That's it. Okay. So that's it for today's session, guys. Let's meet on tomorrow's session with some new topic. Have a great day. Bye all. Thank you. Thank you, online.